That's okay, man. And then we're gonna get into how you how you focus on what your marketing processes are like right now, what's your sales process like right now, and how do you retain your clients, and then any tip you may have for anyone who's wanting to start out a digital marketing agency today. So
Yeah,
we're gonna keep it nice and fun,
cool.
and should be nice and exciting. And looks like we're already rolling.
We're rolling.
What's
Here we
up,
go.
everyone?
I thought
We're
we were
live,
already
man.
rolling, to be honest.
Well, we've been rolling since this past September, right, Cameron? Since
That's right.
we met at Cameron and I met at the POD event, the Prospecting on Demand event, thrown by Alex Schlinsky this past September. And we I was attending it for the first time. Was it your first time, Cameron,
Yeah,
attending
it
that event?
was. It was. Yep. Yeah, it was amazing. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, we made a lot of friends, but Cameron was a little special. Him and I got to talk quite a bit at the event, at the yacht day that we were at,
Yeah.
and then we had a surprising encounter. Right, we were at the beach. After that event was in Tampa downtown, but
Yeah, that's
after
right.
that we usually go out and with my family, and we just go to the beach or something like that and spend a few days just R&R. So we checked in. I think the first day we checked in at the Clearwater Beach, and I'm walking there with my wife, and I hear somebody. I'm like, I think somebody's calling my name, Azar. I'm like, I'm not in my hometown. I'm not like this is a completely new
Everybody
town for
knows you,
me.
man.
And I look around, and it's my man Cameron. So that was a great meeting,
That's funny.
and
Me
a
and my wife were getting
surprising
some
in
fried chicken, and I just saw you walk by. We were at a
yeah
restaurant sitting outside. Like all the restaurants are like outside in Florida. Like I was like
yeah
seeing you
yeah.
walk by. I was like, oh, I gotta say hi.
That was amazing, man. That was amazing. I was so glad that we ran into each other, and because we ran into each other, Cameron and I are talking today. Cameron runs an
Yeah.
amazing digital marketing agency called Globe Light Marketing, and his niche is flooring companies, right, Cameron?
Yep. Yep. That's it.
Why don't
Yep.
you
So
why
like,
don't you give us a brief lowdown of who Cameron is and what Globe Light Marketing does?
yeah, sure. So I'll kind of give you a little background. So I'm 26. So I grew up in Oklahoma. That's where I live right now. Like Edmond, Oklahoma, north of OKC. Grew up in another town called Tulsa. And so I yeah, I would say like my entrepreneurialness, so to say, kind of started when I was like late high school, like early college. So kind of a background on me, just to give you some more context. I was a little bit quieter, almost on the quieter side, like middle school and then early high school. And then like late high school, early college is kind of like when I more came out of my shell. So my first like signs of like, okay, maybe I could do some entrepreneurial stuff or selling or whatever it looks like is when I was in college, I was living with about 4 or 5 guys, doing that whole thing, super fun. And so me and a buddy of mine would like, so I would pretty much find stuff on Facebook Marketplace or like Craigslist or Let Go offer up different selling apps. And I would look for like free couches or like free laundry machines and like dryers or just chairs, tables, whatever I could find. And I would just go pick it up from the people. And then I would just relist it back on Marketplace. And that was me and my buddy. I had my buddy help me because he had the truck. All I have is like a
Hmm.
'01 Nissan Sentra, so like you can't really
Yeah.
carry anything in that, especially big couches. So I got his Tacoma, and he would help me go get the couch. We'd strap it up and then bring it back to our house. We put it in our garage. I'd list it on Marketplace, and I would just sell it for a profit. So I was just, dude, I was hardcore flipping for sure for about almost a year. Like I went really hard for about a year. Me and my
What
buddy
what
did.
year is this? What year is
This
this?
was gosh, 2019 maybe 2018, something like
Nice,
that.
nice. So
Yeah, 2018,
did you
2019.
end up making some solid cash, and you don't have a job at this point? This is all you were
Yeah,
doing?
yeah. I was still in college. So I
Mm.
should have said that. I graduated college a couple of years ago, back in 2020, from a university here in Oklahoma. Um, and so, yeah, this is while I was in college, just trying to make money, while you're in college. So
Mm.
I would do some. Before that, I was doing a lot of like DoorDash and like Uber Eats and
Mm.
Grubhub, things like this, just like make some cash to pay rent, right? And so I started doing this because I was on Marketplace one day and I just like, man, there's so much free stuff that like looks quality. And I've always had an eye for like sales and like marketing. I've kind of been interested in it for a few years before that, like late high school, early college. I'm going to give this a try. I've heard about it a lot. I saw Gary V, Gary V, right? Everybody does.
Yeah.
He was like, he's all big on the garage sales, like going finding stuff and flipping it. And
Yeah.
so anyway, that kind of inspired me too. So I was like, I'm gonna try this. So man, you can find like really quality couches and like furniture and laundry machines like for free on
Mm.
Marketplace. Like people just give it away.
Mm.
And so I'd be like, man, one man's trash is another man's treasure, right? And so I have that mindset. I'm like, I'll just take it from you and then I'll post it for $500 and make $500. So I would give my
Nice.
buddy a little cut of it because he like helped me with the truck, and then I was paying the bills for about a year. Like I wasn't really doing a ton of door dashing and stuff like that. So it was
Wow.
it was pretty awesome. So yeah,
So how
that's
did you? So that's amazing, man. What an amazing story where you're just hustling and like
hmm
I don't there's so many excuses that I hear that, oh man, maybe I can do this, maybe I can do that. Just like freaking start doing, right?
start
Uh,
doing.
you know,
Yep,
like
that's it.
literally start doing it, and that's what you did.
That's it.
And so such a fun experience that you just described as well, right?
Yeah,
And I know my wife is kind of like that, and I had to kind of like
yeah.
I have to like pull her away from things that are lying outside, and I'm like, for God's sake. And this funny story happened. Like we were traveling, and this is like maybe good 2017 or something like that, and we were in Beverly Hills, and we are just taking a drive. We went to LA for the first time. We're just taking drive through these mansions and everything, and somebody's like put these this china, like really good quality
Oh,
china outside their
yeah.
house, right? Like, and it didn't have the Versace symbols on them, but they were like really great. And my wife's like, stop, stop, stop the car. And, like, what could I do? I had to stop the car. And I'm like, for God's sake, baby, please, like, we got to take a plane back. We can't take this back with us.
Let's
But
find
you know
China.
what? But those things are sitting in Calgary right now at our place. And
Oh, for real?
she 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 figured out that they were heavy as hell, and it was fine
Oh
China,
my gosh,
and she brought it back with her, man. And
dude,
and like
that's great.
and that's the spirit, man. Like, nothing
Yep.
goes to waste. There's always opportunities, and I
Yeah.
think that's why a person like you is going to be successful at whatever they do. So tell me about Globe Light Marketing. How did that come about?
Yeah, yeah. So kind of in the meantime, actually, I thought of this real quick before so this is kind of going on like, the kind of getting the ideas for the agency and marketing, all that, like kind of while I'm doing this, because it's kind of striking up my entrepreneurial, thinking and all that. Um, I'd always kind of been interested in marketing and sales, and that was my first initial major in college when I was like 18.
Mm,
That was my first choice, and then I changed like 4 or 5 times, like everybody else does. Like I went to physical therapy and then like nutrition and like kinesiology, and then I majored in communication. So that was kind of my last major. That's what I finished with. Um, but yeah, so in the meantime, I'd say probably about a year before I graduated is when I came upon Ty Lopez, right? Like everybody else did, or a lot of people did. I feel like he
yeah.
was one of the forefathers and the founding fathers of agency life. Um,
Mm,
and so I think I saw a couple of his ads or something like that. This is probably a year and a half before I graduated, and he started talking about digital marketing, and I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. Okay, I mean, it sounds like it would be not easy, but sounds like it's maybe worth a shot. It's remote. Like every business needs marketing, um, so kind of sparked my interest there, and so I ended up getting his little course that he sold. I think it was like $400 or $500, something like that, which was a lot of money at the time for me.
For
Being in
sure, man.
college and, raking out that kind of
Totally,
cash
man.
is,
I don't know.
it's a
I
lot.
don't know how you afforded it. I guess all that couch money
All the
paid for
flipping,
it,
man.
right?
Yeah.
Nice, nice.
I was saving up for something apparently. So yeah, I did that and it was great. Great introductory course. I'm sure like now if I were to look at that course, oh, that's so basic, right? But like you gotta take the steps. And so kind of, got my mind thinking about like Facebook ads and like, just marketing in general for businesses and how do you do that? Like cold calling and just kind of really being introduced to the whole world in general because it's so new and so different and cool if you've never heard about it before and
Mm-hmm.
never experienced it. And it's a really awesome opportunity. Um, so anyway, I pretty much I took his course, finished that. And I was like, okay, I think this is what I want to do when I graduate college. Cause like,
Nice,
at the time I graduated, I was 23. I was like, man, I'm single. Well, not married. I was dating someone at the time, which is now my wife. But
nice.
at the time I was like, I'm not married. Like I have no baggage, no kids. I'm living with four guys paying $250 for rent. Like just I have no expenses. Like, let's just try this out. Let's see if it works. And then if not, I'll go get a
Mm,
job. There's like millions of
mm,
jobs out there I can just go get and go make 40, 50K a
mm,
year. Like it's not
mm,
that hard.
mm,
And so like, okay, I'm gonna try this out. I graduate, like, let's do this. So I ended up getting like another course or two. And like so kind of all those things I had enough knowledge to like just get going, just to get started and start doing kind of like what we talked in the beginning of like the flipping and stuff. You just got to start doing something.
mm,
And then you're going to mess up, you're going to make mistakes, right? And so just kind of welcoming that was super helpful, just having that mindset. So I started kind of my first thing I did starting my agency 2020 June July ish. I decided to go after car dealerships in my local area, like in Oklahoma City.
mm.
And so there was
That's a tough,
about
tough crowd.
it is, man. It is. And so I already kind of had the idea to like, okay, I should probably go after a niche maybe, or like, I already kind of had that thinking, like, I don't really want to be a generalist, but I'm just going to go after this crowd, get a nice little script, go present to them and just see what happens. So I
Mm,
started building this list of car dealerships in my area, about 100, 120 of them. And it's so funny, kind of a side note here in the beginning, like whenever you're starting out, you start doing all this stuff and you think you're making progress, but it just like makes you
mm,
feel better on the inside. Like, oh, like I'm doing this agency stuff. But dude, I spent probably 2 weeks or 3 weeks building that list of like
mm.
prospects, which is not bad, right? Like I was doing stuff, but I didn't know I could just go get a list on Fiverr for $5 of dealerships in my area. I didn't know like I didn't have that kind of leverage. I didn't know what I was doing. So anyway, I built out like a Excel spreadsheet, 120 car dealerships, and I just started dialing the phone. Like I got had a
Mm,
little script I got from one of those courses, and I'd say, hey, like, is this OKC Auto or whatever? Like like what do you guys do for social media right now? Just like starting a conversation and saying, hey, I
mm,
noticed this on your website. I noticed you're not doing this, and your competitors are. Like, would you be interested in like seeing how you could do that? Like I'll be in town, like I can stop by for 5 minutes and show you. That was pretty much my script. And they'd be like, oh yeah,
mm,
sure, come on by and kind of show us like, what you're talking about. So it worked
mm.
really well, actually. Like out of those 120, I probably got appointments with like 20 of them, which is like really solid.
Nice.
Um, which is like, I don't know,
Oh,
15, 20% conversion rate, or
very
appointment
good.
rate.
Yeah.
First time cold calling too. And that was pretty tough, man. Like cold calling sucks. Like I hate it. I'm probably never gonna cold call ever again. Like I hate it. Like it is. Don't get me wrong. It
I
works.
know,
I will
man.
do it. I'll do it if I have
Yeah.
to. Like if I,
I think
if
there are
I,
easier ways of doing that now.
yeah,
Like as long as you kind of work the marketing on the prospecting list a little bit, and you kind of warm them up even through cold emails.
yes,
It's a lot
yes,
better for the sellers to call people up instead of just picking the phone up. But that's cold, hardcore, old-fashioned way, man. So how many? I
yeah,
want to
man.
find out how many deals did you close out of those 20 appointments?
So I got about 3 clients out of that. And
Mm,
so, man, I had a couple like those courses I took. Like I kind of had a mini mentor at the time, that was kind of helping me like price things and like what to offer. So I was offering Facebook ads. So I got about 3 clients, and he was like, "Hey, what you need to do because you're new is offer to start for free. Of course, they pay for
mm,
like ad spend and everything,
Yeah.
But like have an incentive to where like each car you help them sell through your ads, you get 300 bucks or you get 200
Mm,
bucks or whatever, which I was like, okay, that sounds pretty fair to do like at the start. Like
nice.
I do this, like I've never done it. I can't go and charge $1,000 a month. Like that's just not going to work.
Mm, mm,
And so I did that and it worked pretty well. Like I was able to, it was $0 from the start. And they were like, yeah, sure. Like, I mean, I'll have you advertise for me. And if I get a car, that's great. And then you win too. So signed a few up and it worked okay. It definitely wasn't paying the bills, but I
mm.
probably, I was at that time I was making like five, maybe $500 a month or something like that. Like selling a couple cars a month for them. And,
Mm.
I
And
was doing it though.
how much ad spend would you have a client commit at that point?
It was about $500. So like very
Yeah,
introductory, like,
yeah.
but for me, like the fact that I was even able to go like make an appointment, go sell these people on an offer and then create an ad
Mm.
that helped them get a customer, I was like, that was proof of concept for me. That's all I
Huge,
needed
huge, man.
to know like, wow, this
Amazing.
stuff works. Like this business model, like this
Yeah.
strategy, like I can do this. I just don't know like how to do it. So
So
so from
that
that
would
point,
bring you to the next step. So let me
right.
pause there for a second and let me
Sure.
recap this because you dropped really some solid value bombs here. So you started out right out of university. You decided you're going to go into business for yourself. You took the course. You were flipping furniture and washing machines, and you had some money, and you invested $500 in Ty Lopez course, and
Mm,
you take the learnings from there and you decide that. So one of the things that like really pops out to me, Cameron, here is that when I first started out my agency back in 2008, I didn't have the insight of focusing on a niche. So you're already like way ahead of me on that side, that you
right.
had the insight of focusing on a niche, which was car dealers at that point, and I'm guessing these were
Right.
the used car dealers.
Yeah, yeah, not like, Ford and Toyota. It was like 30, 40 car
Yeah.
lots, like small ones, right?
Nice, nice. Yeah,
Yeah,
those ones are the best. So
yeah,
you focus on the car dealers, you build the list out yourself, and this is a concept that Josh Nelson and a lot of agency coaches call Dream 100. So even
yeah,
without taking their courses, you kind of
right.
have this concept of Dream 100. You build the list in your neighborhood, in your city, and then you go to work, and then you do the most uncomfortable thing humanly possible, which is picking up the phone and calling these people up. And
Yeah.
that's, and I've done that, right? Like, and I used to do uh I wouldn't call it cold call. Like, I had a list of, usually during my agency days, anytime I needed extra business come in, I'd be calling, 5 to 10 of my previous past clients, because somebody I've done a website design project for. And my agency was a generalist agency. I do mostly project work. And,
Right.
like the marketing stuff came in later. But, I always had that list printed in front of me. I knew the value of that list, and even then, it was extremely hard. I knew these people. I knew there's
Mm.
money sitting right here. And I still, like, it was hard for me. Like, I'd just make every living excuse out there to not make those. And I only had to make
Oh,
like
yeah.
5 to 10 calls a day, right? I knew I made
Yep.
10 calls, I'd get something out of it today, right? And
That was
still,
my
it was
mindset.
hard for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah,
Still,
dude,
it still was hard, man. It's not
it
easy,
is the
dude, but
hardest thing.
it gets you out of your comfort zone. And
Yep.
I highly, especially in your early days, I highly recommend putting you through. Could be cold calling, could be sending out emails, could be just showing up. Like I used to do door to door, man. Like I'd have a stack of cards,
Ooh,
and I
that's
just so
hard.
I just go to shopping malls, and I'd go
Ooh,
to yeah, and I'll just hand out cards,
that's even
and I still
harder.
have and I still have clients from those. Like I remember
Really?
Dr. Barry Harden. Yeah, I walked into their clinic, and they called me like a week later, and they're like, "We need a website," and they're still at my legacy
Whoa.
agency. Yeah, I got a few clients out of that, man. So
That's
that stuff
amazing.
works, man. And I just
Yes.
go at it, right? So you just put yourself through some of the tough stuff, and early on, I believe it's those are the times where you can do these things and just
Yep.
try a whole bunch of stuff and see what sticks. So So you did a great
Yeah.
job there, man. And then you booked 20 people from that first list. You closed 3 people. You got yourself a proof of concept. So
100%.
now, so now what happened? Like that niche didn't work out. How did you come over to the carpet and flooring niche?
Yeah, yeah. So from that point on, I was doing that for about, gosh, I don't know, 4 months maybe, to where like I had those few clients, it was going okay. Again, I had that proof of concept, but I was like, I know there's another step I need to take here that
Mm,
I don't know what I don't know at that time. Like, when you're
mm,
like in those early stages, it's like you don't know anything. Like you're just
mm,
doing and you're doing. And so I really had that like high achiever mindset as opposed to like the
mm,
entrepreneur mindset, to where it's like, okay, I'm gonna figure out everything on my own. I'm not gonna like ask anybody for help. I'm just gonna grind through this for 20 years. And that's how long it takes me to get through it. And
mm.
but I was like, man, I can't do that. So it's about 4 months in. I start seeing some more ads. Right, those coaches are good, man, at those ads targeting potential marketers, and some
Yeah,
more ads from this guy named J.R. Revis. I don't know if you've heard of him
yeah,
before or
yeah.
not. And I think we, yeah,
He does
and
does a lot of VA stuff, right?
yes, that was his specialty. He doesn't do it anymore. He does like I think real estate now is his thing.
Mm,
But yeah, so I saw a lot of his ads. He had a pretty big like coaching mentorship program at the time. And I was seeing his ads for like a few months, and it was his whole offer was like, hey, we're gonna get you like booked appointments, like 10 to
mm,
15 a week. We're just gonna get you appointments on your calendar with businesses, needing marketing. And it's like, wow, at that time, like that sounds amazing, right? Like,
mm.
just a guy that doesn't even know what he's
And
doing to just have appointments.
anything so I don't have to make cold calls.
Yeah, yeah, 100%, yeah. And so what was interesting, what I appreciate his like marketing now, because he wasn't even selling a coaching program, so to say.
Mm,
He was just selling that offer of like, hey, we're going to get you appointments, which is what you need most, but like we're also going to give you the entire roadmap on how to build an agency. So that was like his front end offer. And so I was like, okay, I'm just going to hop on a call with this dude and just see what's up with it, because I know I want to do this. Like I want to have my own business. I want to do this agency full time. I just don't know what to do. I need somebody else to show me. And
mm.
so hopped
So
on a call with one of his sales guys.
selling the offer, right? That's another
Right.
golden nugget there, right? So when
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
so I think what Cameron is talking about is that when you are trying to sell or you're trying to bring in prospects, sell the offer instead of your services, because
Yep.
gets them through the door. Like if you can promise them that they're going to be able to walk away with a roadmap or something like that, without committing to their extended services and things like that, that brings them in through their door. And then from there, you can work your magic and take that person on. So yeah, go ahead, Cameron.
100%.
What happened after that
100%.
call?
Yeah. So, yeah, if he would have just said like, hey, here's a mentorship program for how to grow your agency, I probably wouldn't have took him up on it. But like
Yeah.
the offer was so enticing, right? So yeah, that's definitely a good point. So hop on a call with one of his sales guys, and he was great. I was just kind of telling him where I was at and like what I was looking to do. And, anyway, like long story short, he kind of sold me on the idea. And so took him up on the offer and enrolled in the course. It was a lot of money at the time. Was I still in college? No, I was just out of college. This is like 4 months out of college. And
Mm,
I wasn't really doing the flipping anymore. That was more in college. I was doing a lot of DoorDash and like Uber and stuff like that to like pay
mm,
the bills while I was trying to figure out the agency stuff. And so anyway, I invested money in his course, and it was 6K, which was
wow.
a lot of money. I
Big
don't care saying
investment.
that. But it was a lot of money. And like that was almost like felt like $100,000 at the time. So of course I had to
Mm,
split up the payments, do that whole thing. But I was like, okay, if I invest this much money, and like there's all these testimonials, right? Like I really did my homework on the guy and his program. And you
mm,
watch all the testimonials on YouTube, you see like all the transformations of people in their agencies. And I was like, okay, I've got to do this. Like if I really want to do this, and I think I'm called to this, I've got to like and have someone show me. So I invest, and then man, that was the turning point for me. Like he just gave me the roadmap. It was like coaching calls every day, 5 days a week, and really hands-on approach. And yeah, man, he just showed me what to do, and all the coaches in there, and all the other agencies in there that were trying to grow as well. So everything from like
Mm,
how to build an offer, what you should offer, how you should charge, what your mindset should be, like everything, how to like retain clients, like how to scale, like, and then of course the VA stuff. So whenever I enrolled, they give you a VA along with the
mm,
course to start generating you appointments, which is like his front end offer. And so like he was really amazing with it. Like he would train the VAs on everything similar, I guess, to what you do. But he would like really train them on prospecting. That was his big thing. And so like he would
mm,
give them scripts like from the start. So we weren't really having to like build out the entire like prospecting system. He would just kind of give it
mm,
to us, and we would kind of help the VA tweak it, and like with his coaching help. But they would just come in, and then they would just start sending like a, a crap ton of messages on like Instagram, Facebook,
mm.
email, LinkedIn, and all the appointments just started coming in. I started hopping on the phone with
Nice.
people. So, and
So
yeah, and
who
this
are
just
you
got better from there.
selling to
So
at this point? Was this still car companies, or did
so
you
yeah.
change
So
the
this
niche at
was
this point?
yeah, good question. So I at this point, that's when I decided on the flooring niche actually. So this was
Mm,
so I think while I just started the program, or it's a little bit before, I really started seeing a lot of ads on Facebook, like from home renovation companies. So like your flooring, your roofing, like remodeling, all that stuff. And they're all running ads on Facebook. And the more you click on it, the more Facebook feeds you those ads, right? The algorithm. And
mm.
so I would see their ads. And I'm like, man, these ads suck. Like I know it's just like, hey, we're Billy Bob's roofing company. Like send message.
Mm,
That's it. And I was like, man, I could help these guys. Like I'm not the best myself, but I'm better than them. And so I could probably charge them something for it. So that's kind of how I knew I wanted to go on the renovation, home service side of things. And then whenever I got into the program, he really emphasized you have to choose a niche. Like home service is not
really?
enough. You got to niche down further, because home service is like 100 niches still. You got like,
Mm-hmm.
flooring,
Mm-hmm.
like bathroom, kitchen, drywall, everything.
Home
And so I was
home
like,
service is great in a way that it's kind of recession proof, right? You're gonna need a plumber. You're gonna
yes.
need a plumber. You're gonna need your
Yep.
carpets done. You're gonna need them done. You're gonna need your roof done. You're gonna need it done, right? So I think
Absolutely.
that kind of brought you into that, and then
Yeah.
you like further niche down into flooring.
Yep. So I decided on that one because there wasn't a lot of people in that niche, and there still isn't.
Yeah,
It's a
I
pretty
agree.
big blue ocean. And so I was like, but there was a couple companies that I did see that were pretty big flooring agencies. I was like, okay, like it's doable. Like, they're doing it. And so there was a ton of them too. There's a ton of floor installers, there's a ton of flooring stores. And so I decided
Mm.
on that, and that's where my VA started sending out messages to every flooring company in the world, pretty much is what it seems like now. Like dude, it's crazy. I'm still getting residual benefits from my VA at the time 2 years ago, sending those messages
Nice.
on Instagram. I still get messages are like, hey, yeah, I'm interested. And this was like our 3 message sequence we would send out to flooring companies, cold DMs. And this is like a
Nice.
year and a half ago. And they're like, yeah, I want to hop on a call. I'm like, what? So it's just that compound
Nice.
effect of like her sending thousands of messages just compounds over time. And so,
Amazing.
yeah, man, from that point, I got my first few kind of flooring clients, and got a few testimonials out of that. I would just kind of run the same kind of Facebook ad and get them
What's
results.
your
And
what's
I'd
your
say,
offer? What's your offer like, Cameron, for flooring company? So if I'm a flooring company, like what would your offer be to me?
like currently,
Yeah.
yeah, so right now, it's just like, hey, we'll get you more phone calls, people looking to buy what you have to sell, flooring wise, get you more book jobs essentially. I don't have like a amazing 1 or 2 sentence offer, so to say. But I'm just like, hey, we're gonna get your phone ringing to get you more book jobs.
Simple.
That's pretty much it. Very
Simple,
simple.
simple to the point.
Yeah.
And yeah, so what a great point, man. So like, be intuitive in what's going on in your market. Like Cameron, he'll focus on those ads. I love what you said about Billy Bob marketing. come, get your roof done through us. And
Yeah.
those guys need
Yep.
help, right? Like as soon
Oh
as you
yeah.
come across those ads, put them in your Dream 100 sequence and get going from there. So that's
Yep.
amazing, Cameron.
Pretty
What a
much.
great story, man. You started out through your college, flipping furniture, used stuff, investing in yourself, learning the basics of digital marketing. And I think this coaching and mentorship, we like take it lightly, but you
Oh,
went through two, right? You went through Ty Lopez, you went through J.R. Revis's, and you invested money when you didn't have it. And that's paying dividends at this point. So what a great story.
oh
Don't
my
be
gosh.
afraid of
Yeah.
spending that money up front, because it's going to pay dividends later on, and
You
it's
have
going to
to.
cut your learning curves way shorter, man. Like had I done that early on in my career, I know it would have been
Yep.
a very different story for my agency as well. but
Oh
but
yeah.
great learnings there, man. Let's
If I
go
didn't do
into
that, I
change.
would not be
Yeah,
where I am today. Like, so I didn't mean to interrupt you, but like, if I didn't do
yeah.
that, like, I would still be trying to figure it out myself, and I would not be in it full time.
and
Like, I can
you're and you're
almost
still
guarantee that.
doing that to date. I know you were at Alex Trinsky's event, learning
Yeah.
more and things like that. Alex has this famous one call close method, and
Yeah.
so we learned tons together there at that event. But let's
Oh
come
yeah.
down
He's a
to
beast.
let's focus on what I want to kind of switch gears, and I want to kind of tell people, like like you figured out your niche and all of this stuff. What's your current marketing method? How is your marketing working right now? How are you pulling in business and coming these people coming in with their hands raised and wanting to work with you?
Yeah. Yeah. So, uh, a lot of what I was doing, sort of just for context, in the not beginning, but like when I really started to ramp up and like I was able to go full time, I was doing a lot of Facebook ads, to where like I would, target flooring companies, hit them with an offer, they submit the form, hop on a call, sell them pretty much.
Mm,
So which is like super effective, and I love that. And then of course the organic side of things. So it was a lot of like cold DM, and then like I started doing paid ads in the beginning, and that's kind of really what
mm,
got me to where I was able to go full time. And then,
mm.
so now currently, I haven't been doing paid ads for about 8 or 9 months, roughly,
Oh wow.
because I've been focusing very heavily, kind of like what we talked about at the event, very heavily on content. So like just kind of
Mm,
personal branding. That's been like my main strategy in the past, like, yeah, 8 or 9 months.
mm,
So, I post a ton on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube Shorts. I kind of do everything. And so, man, I post a ton of testimonials, a lot of reviews, like screenshots of, companies that close a job, or like when things are
mm.
going good, I'll take a screenshot of our, conversation and post that on Facebook or Instagram. And so I've been getting clients that way. So I've been getting about 2 or 3 a month on average, which has been a
Nice.
great steady growth rate. Retention's been good. So where like I am still like able to grow, and not like, I guess, stay stagnant, so to say. And so like,
Amazing, man.
of course, like whenever I was posting at first, I wasn't getting a lot. It's got to compound over time. But like I've been doing it so much where like I'll post a few times a week. I'll schedule it out on Fridays. So like Friday mornings, I'll like do all my content to where like I'll put
Mm,
together like 3 Facebook, IG, LinkedIn posts. And
mm,
then I'll make like 3 short form videos for TikTok, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts. And so, man, I've
mm.
been getting clients that way. So people will like see me on Facebook, and they'll message me. It's like, man, I've been following you for a couple months. Like, can we hop on a call? And I'm like, what? You have? Who are you? So,
Love it,
and
man. And
it's
this is
amazing. And
totally
then
organic at this point, huh?
totally
You
organic.
don't
Yeah,
you don't have
100%.
a cold caller or anything like that at this point that's doing
I
any of that.
don't.
You're just
Yeah.
posting content. That's amazing. So you start
Yeah.
out with some paid ads. You get your first few clients in through that. But since then, since the last 5 to 6 months, you're really focused on building yourself up as a brand and people
Yeah.
recognizing you, but constantly posting content almost on a daily basis,
Yep.
without any ad spend really to this. So this is a great strategy, man. Like,
Yeah.
we think about, we're to grow a business, we're going to need a huge marketing budget and things like that. But
Yep.
all it really needs is your commitment and, showing up every single day, creating that content, and then
Yeah.
publishing it for the right audience, and
Yep.
you're good to go. And
Because
now you're
branding
at a
like
point
brings the
where
best ROI, I think. I don't know.
mm,
I didn't mean to interrupt you,
totally,
but
because these
like,
these people are coming in with their raised hands, right? They're reaching out to you instead of you reaching
yes.
out to them. It's a very
Oh my
different
gosh.
ball
Yeah.
game, man. Well,
It's
what
a
an
totally
amazing
different
story, man.
conversation. Totally different
Mm,
conversation. Like whenever, as opposed to a cold email, like they say,
mm,
yeah, I'm interested. Then they hop on a call. Then it's like, you have to really sell them. Like you reached out to
yeah.
them. But if I've got someone that's seen me for a few months and seen my testimonials and
Mm,
like they see me as an authority, they reach out, like
yeah.
we're hopping on a call. I'm like, what do you want? You know, like, I'm not saying that, but it's like, hey, like, why should I let you work with me? Right. So it's a
Yeah,
totally different conversation.
yeah,
And they're like,
yeah.
it's so much easier to sell. And then like on the so when I started posting on TikTok a few months, no, probably 5, 6 months ago, and man, that really shocked me because I was like, I just wanted to try it out because of course TikTok's the big thing now, or short
Yeah,
form
you're a
video. And
big,
so
big, big TikTok star, I heard.
no, definitely not.
In the
Only a
in the
couple hundred
floor
followers.
in the flooring niche, but in the
I'm
flooring niche,
trying to,
people
man.
people like you, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I posted my first couple videos, like super basic, like, hey, flooring companies, like looking to get more phone calls, like look at this, we just generated this for this client, like, that whole thing. Posted 2 videos and I was so shocked because like did a couple hashtags like flooring company, installation, all that, and got like
Mm,
700, 800 views. And I was like, whoa, what the heck? Like just like that. I have no followers.
mm,
How did I get that many views? And the algorithm's so amazing on there. It's so different. And so, dude, I booked like 3 calls out of those 2 videos. And I
nice,
was like, oh my gosh, like this is insane. And I closed one of those guys. And again, it's that proof of
nice.
concept thing to where I was like, okay, this works. I'm just gonna do this a million times over for the rest of my life, and like I'm gonna be
Mm,
good. So got a couple clients out of that, and then I started posting to YouTube. So YouTube Shorts, and then Instagram Reels. And so what's funny with YouTube is that in order to post my video testimonials of my clients on my website, I had to have a link, right? Like a YouTube link or like a Vimeo link, right? And so
mm,
I would post them on YouTube just so that I could post on my website, not to like get clients or anything. But man, I still had people that would book calls with me off of YouTube. I wasn't even trying. I would just post my testimonials on there and I would get a random
mm,
book call. I'm like, how did you find me? They're like, I saw a YouTube video. I was like, what video?
nice. And
And
this is all, again, all organic still, right?
yeah,
You're
yeah, all
just using
organic.
these platforms and you're constantly posting content. Amazing,
Yeah,
dude. Like that's the best marketing strategy I've ever heard. I promise you that. So
dude, because
let's
now,
let's go into Cameron. Yeah, I'll let you finish, buddy. Go ahead.
no, sorry, I may interrupt you. Get all excited when I start talking about this. But now, like, if you go search like flooring, how to get flooring leads, I've got like the second video on YouTube search, and so second or third, I
Nice.
think. Hopefully, it's still there. But like, I'll still get a few book calls from that, and like people will kind of come into the funnel, see my testimonials, and they're so easy to close. I'm like, why are you on YouTube for? Like, what are you searching for? They're like, I need leads. I'm like, okay, I can help you. So
Very
anyway.
nice, man. So walk me through now. These people come in and you are uh, jumping on a call with them. What does the sales process look like at this point?
Yeah, so because that's like the main way I'm getting clients currently, it's mainly like just a one call close type thing. And of course, like, Alex has been a big proponent of that and just believing in what he teaches. And so just hop on a call and like, again, it's a totally different conversation. I'm not having to like sell them a lot. I'm just like, hey, so like, what made you want to book a call? And they're like, yeah, I've been seeing you for a while, or like, yeah, I found you on YouTube or TikTok, whatever, and like I just need help, growing my business. And like I'll just ask him like, hey, how many jobs are you getting right now? And like how many do you want to get to? So where are you at right now? Where do you want to go? And then like what's holding you back? Like what's kind of the bridge there? And then like ask him about, that little gap right there. Like how long has that been happening? Trying to be like a doctor essentially of like, okay, you've
Mm-hmm.
had pain here. Okay, how long has that pain been going on?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why do you think that
Mm-hmm.
is? Like, what do you think's going on? Um, and then after that, I'm like, hey, did you get a chance to like look at our website I sent you and like look at my content and all that? They're like, yeah, like it looks great. And so by this point, like they're kind of sold already, so to say. And then I
So
just kind of go
this
and
is
speak
just
to,
like this is usually the first call that you're having with them, and you're just trying to
yeah,
close them on that one call.
yeah, pretty much. I don't,
Amazing,
because
amazing.
what I was doing in the beginning, which is understandable, I was doing a two call process, like when I was doing the DMs. Um,
That's what most people do. But I
yeah.
think Alex's one close method, man, that's probably the
Oh,
best
yeah.
thing. If you're the right client,
Yeah.
there's no reason you should be thinking about this at
Yeah.
all.
Just hit them with an offer if it makes sense. And then, like, if they need another call, then yeah, let's schedule another call. That's fine. But like, I'm going to throw an offer out to you. Then if you want it right there, let's do it. I'll try to handle some objections. Because I was doing the whole like discovery call, 10-15 minutes. Then like, okay, let's schedule a Zoom call now, a demo on Zoom. I walk you through some slides on Google
Mm,
Slides. But it was
mm.
working, but it just felt like so salesy and like so like, which people
Yeah.
hate being sold to, and they see the slides when they first hop on a call, and it's like, okay, here we go.
Yeah,
So
I hear you, man. Keep it simple,
anyway,
keep it genuine, and
yes,
one call is all it takes. And especially, you can
yeah,
do most of those things before, between that call gets booked. You can send
yeah.
out some of that information and things like that. So what does that offer look like? Do you have like an all-inclusive offer? Like, we're gonna do the website, we're gonna do the paid ads, everything together, and how much does that cost? Like an
Yeah,
retainer. What are you selling that at right now?
right. Yeah. So Um, yeah, something I've been working on a lot is kind of productizing everything, towards like packages almost. So kind of the main thing I'm selling right now is, like I said, Google Ads kind of mixed with local SEO. And then if they need a website, then I will like throw in a website with that. But if they already have a good looking website, I'm not gonna like try and sell on a website. So that's kind of the full thing. It's usually ads with SEO. And I'll sell that usually for around like 12.97 a month, or if they need a lower price, I'll kind of get them down to that 1,000 range for that. So that's kind of been the average, kind of like that 1,000 to 12 or 1,300 range. Seems to be like it's a good price point for that niche and for like what I offer with
Hmm.
that, because like they just need like a couple jobs just to like make it worth it for them. And so I really emphasize that. I'm like, hey, like if they really hesitate on the price, I'm like, man, all you need is one good flooring job making you five,
Yeah,
6K, which is the average, and then you're gonna make it
but
back
it is
easily.
the average. Totally. I have
Yeah.
a flooring client from back in the day since 2010. They've been with me. They have two stores in
Wow.
Calgary, and yeah, so their averages, and I've seen them grow from like nothing to, I think it's like a $8 or $12 million business at this point,
Wow.
a year, and their average in Canadian dollars is around $6,000 to $7,000 per job.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
so
Makes it way
yeah,
easier.
yeah,
So
yeah, very
yeah, I
simple. And
just
what's the ad spend on top of this that you're getting them to commit
yeah, so yeah, for the full thing, like if we're doing Google Ads, because the other kind of side is if they can't make that full investment, like with our fee and then the ad budget, I'll just sell them on like local SEO for like, typically like
on?
500-600 bucks. And then like try to cross sell if I can. Um, so with the ad budget with Google Ads, usually it's around 1,500 to 2,000. Typically, I'll have some that do 1,000 a month, which is like if they
Mm,
really need to, like kind of an introductory. But I'm like, it's really kind of cutting it thin,
mm,
especially like
yeah,
because cost per clicks in the flooring niche, they can be like 25-30 bucks.
yeah,
Um,
it's high.
so anyway, yeah, so that's, but we usually get pretty good conversion rates, like, 20-25%, sometimes higher.
Mm,
So usually we can get if we can get, $100 conversions on Google Ads, they can usually get a couple jobs out of that typically. And then I'll
yeah,
say, hey,
that's
let's
pretty
raise the ad budget. So
nice. Very awesome, man. And so very simple offering, local SEO coupled with some paid ads, and you guys are rocking and rolling. You're averaging around $1,500 for the retainer side, and then ad spend on top of that. So awesome,
right.
man. So now talk to me about you got you've done the marketing, you closed the deals. Now you want to retain these clients for as long as possible, right? Like when you
Oh
get
yeah.
to the size that you're getting to right now, retaining clients becomes a real thing that you don't want to be bringing them in from the one door and having the old clients walk out the door from the second door, right? So what's
Right.
your strategy there? How are you making sure that your retention ratio is like extremely high?
Yeah. Yeah, man, this has been something I've been focusing on a lot recently in the past like 4 or 5 months is like just retention. Because, I just do not want to keep filling up a bucket that's got a hole in the bottom because you're gonna have to
Yeah.
keep filling it up. And so it just doesn't make any sense to like just focus on sales and not retaining clients because you're just gonna like burn
Mm-hmm.
out. And so that's
Mm-hmm.
how I wasn't starting to feel like that. Retention has been good, but I just wasn't focusing on it, and so people would leave after a couple months, and I'm like, "What the heck?" Like, it
Mm-hmm.
sucks whenever it happens, and so I just
Mm-hmm.
like want to get away from that feeling as much as possible and retain them as long as possible. So,
Yeah.
kind of what I do is I try to make sure that onboarding process is very clean and concise. And like as soon as they pay me, it's like, okay, here's the next step. Here's the next step. Here's what we're gonna do. Like really over communicating. I feel like that's a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so like, okay, we need access to your Google Ads account, Google Business Profile. Fill out this form.
Mm-hmm.
I'll make sure they're doing okay when they're doing it. Like I'll check in a day later. Like, hey, did you get this filled out? And then after that, we'll hop on a call, like a kickoff call type thing. And so I really like try to build a ton of rapport and like really set
Mm-hmm.
expectations and like build out this roadmap of like, okay, this is what we're going to do month 1, month 2, month 3. This is what you should
Mm-hmm.
expect. If your ad account gets shut down, don't sweat it. We're going to figure it out. So just like
Mm-hmm.
really trying to bring in as many like of the questions or objections they're going to have a month or two in and bring that to the kickoff call. I feel like has really
Excellent.
helped me a ton. And so that kind of comes with experience too, I think. And the more you've been in it, like whenever you're just starting out, you're not going to know what's going to happen. You're not going to know the objections you're going to get down the line of like, oh, the leads suck, or like
Yeah.
this isn't working out, or like what's going on. So again, just really over communicating, especially in the first couple months. And a big part of why I believe I've been able to have a good retention rate is I keep my clients very accountable. Um,
Mm.
which makes me kind of spend a lot of time with clients and managing. So like
Mm.
whenever the ads start going and the calls start rolling in for them, I'm like, hey, did you see that call come in? Like, what happened with it? Did you book an appointment? Oh, great,
Mm.
that's awesome. Like, really celebrate them. Um, and then like I kind of try to remember, like I now have a doc of like um, with all their leads of like updates on them. So like, okay, if this company is going to have an appointment on Wednesday from the ads, I'm going to text them Wednesday after the appointment and say, hey, did you close the job? And so like if they're
Nice.
like, then they'll text back like, oh yeah, close it. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. So just like
Mm.
really like communicating a ton with them. I
Yeah.
really try and like push that partnership mentality with them, and
Yeah.
that's been working
I
pretty
think
well.
really,
And so
as a marketing agency, we are an extension of their teams, right?
yeah,
Like, and the more you can make that happen through extraordinary communication, celebrating the wins, being upfront and honest when, like a ad account getting suspended, like you mentioned,
yeah,
right? Things like that, like over communicating, make sure there's no perceived indifference, because I don't know of any digital marketing agency out there who's not breaking their back for their clients and making it happen. Why I think majority of the reason why clients leave is because of perceived indifference, which is they
yeah,
think that nothing's going on,
yep,
and little did they know that we're just going to town. We're trying to make
yeah,
everything happen for those leads to come in. But I think when we fail to communicate, a lot of these problems start happening. So I think you're right
yeah,
on the dot there, man. Like over communicate, celebrate the wins, being upfront and honest. I think
yeah,
that's really the basics of retention, right?
for
And
sure.
like when you can, and I think that's very important. I was talking, I forgot a guess, but we were talking about exact same thing where, when something happens and you're there to celebrate and you're there to let them know even if something good didn't happen. You're really an extension of that team, right? When you have that rapport built out with them, whether it's you or the account manager, what's going to happen is that they're not going to feel like, that's it's just a third party company. Like when things go rough, let me cut down that budget and get rid of them or ghost them, worst case scenario.
Yes,
they're going to communicate with you, and you guys are going to at least be able to, even on a reduced budget, be able to retain that client instead of having a complete loss.
Yes, I've got a great example on that you just brought up of like the partnership team mentality. They're an extension of your team, right? So I've got a client in Texas, and so they actually had I think another marketing agency reach out to them, and it was like
Hmm.
I think it was on TikTok or Instagram or something like that, and they were like, "Hey, like I saw you on TikTok or something, and I noticed your website looks like this." Just trying to like pitch them essentially, like love to hop on a call with you, and so my client copy and paste the message and sends it to me to
Nice.
our group. It's me and it's two of them and like me and like a group that we'll text on or message on. Sends the message to me, and I felt like really respected by that. First of all,
Mm.
but I immediately saw it and immediately responded. I was like, oh, like that's interesting. Like, well, if they did their homework, they would have noticed that we are working on this and we are doing this. Like, so like, don't even sweat it. Like, don't let it scare you. And
Yeah.
they texted back and he was like, it doesn't scare us, Cameron. Like, we're all a team. And then the other person texted back and said, we're Team Cameron all the way.
Nice. That's awesome,
So
man.
yeah,
Cam-
I was like, dude, that's great.
Cameron, this has been a pleasure, man. I wish we had more time. I think we're gonna have to do this again real soon. You and I, when we're talking, it just time flies. And just
Oh
before you
yeah.
head out, man, I want you to, what's that one tip? Like, if I was starting out my digital marketing agency today, what's the first thing or one thing that you recommend I should be doing?
By far and away, 1,000% is mentorship. I mean, there's just no getting around that.
Mm,
You have to. Like, you can definitely try and do it all yourself, but you got to invest. I
yeah.
mean, specifically financially. I don't mean like go on YouTube and look at people that have made videos
I,
or
th- I
like
think
go
that holds
here.
you accountable, right?
Oh my
Like they
gosh.
might be
Yeah.
like that's why people go to school, right? Like you can learn everything on YouTube, but you invest in
Yep.
university for 4 years and you make something out of yourself. And I think that's true for
Yeah.
coaches and mentorships and things like
Oh
that.
yeah.
So that's
Big.
amazing,
Yeah.
man. That's a great tip,
100%. Yeah. Like when I
dude.
spent that
Dude,
6,000, I was like, dude, I got to make this work.
yeah, I don't know how you manage that, man, but looks
uh,
like it's working out, man. I'm really,
yeah.
really
Appreciate it.
impressed with what you've built here. Thanks for being on the show. I know this is going to be a great hit. People are going to love it. I think our conversation was extremely candid. Thanks for sharing everything you did.
Yeah.
And we'll be speaking to you real soon, my friend.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you having me on. This is super fun. Love talking to you.
Same here, my man. Just give me a sec here, Cameron.